Hello, everybody. Hey, it's Ken Faulkner. And what's going on here? Must be another knife video or something, huh? This is a bunch of knives, and what I've kind of decided to do, and I'll tell you kind of the story. I'll try to keep it brief because this is going to be a long one. I'm trying to slow down on my buying of knives, and my channel is mostly knives that I buy from my collection. Or in this case, I'm going back into my collection. So kind of what I decided to do, because I store my knives in Apache cases mostly. I got some other things that I'll store them in. At least the folding knives, really. I mean, the fixed blades, they don't really fit too well in the Apache case. But so if you know what they are, they're like a Pelican case, foam inserts, little cutouts in it. Anyway, I over time I filled my first one. Then I got another one. And when I got the other one, what I decided to do to kind of help me be able to find stuff, because when you start getting a collection over 100 knives, you end up having a hard time finding where is that knife, especially when you're trying to do videos and you're trying to get ready for it and you're looking for knives for comparison or whatever. Yeah, it gets a little bit difficult. So what I did was on that second case, I decided I was going to take knives where I had a large number from a certain brand. And so there's several different ones, and I'm starting off here. I think I'm gonna do a couple other videos of these kind, see how this goes. This is Kaiser, obviously. If you know Kaiser, you recognize a lot of these knives. So I have 14 Kaisers. That's the most of one specific brand, unless you take Civivi and then you add on Wii and Sencut. Then I'm a little over that. We'll get into that later, but yeah, I'll start out with the Kaisers. Kaisers is one of the brands that I started buying earlier on. I kind of wish, I have this spreadsheet that I use to kind of keep track of stuff. I can't count on my memory anymore, so I use my phone, reminders, all these kind of things, until they implant a chip in my head to help me to remember things. I use these external things, and I kind of wish that I had put in once I started doing it, when I bought each one, because I want to kind of go through this from the earliest purchase to the most recent purchase. Definitely early on, Kaiser was a big one, influenced by like Blade HQ videos and B's Blades. If you watch B's Blades, you know that he's always been a Kaiser fan. Probably showing a little less of him than he used to, but now he's still, you see a lot of Kaisers on there. Vu Fam definitely influenced me because he was an excellent rep for them. He's moved on since then. Then we had Crazy K, and she's moved on. So it's just like you're kind of going through. But some of these big personalities kind of help kind of guide me to them. Maybe you guys had the same experience. Let's get into the knives because this is going to be long. Okay, so early on, I was buying more smaller knives. And if you see this one, it used to be the JG10 Kaiser Feist. I have a video where I dyed this one. The dye I used was RIT dye, but it really wasn't the synthetic stuff, which I should have used. I kind of learned. But I haven't gone back and redone it. I think it turned out fairly nice. There's a little spot here where it's not quite as even. And maybe at some point I will get back to it. But the Feist, yeah, it was very exciting at the beginning. Lindquist design. This steel on the Feist is, I believe it's a M390, which was very cool. Now it's a little blade, tiny little blade, and earlier on in my collecting, I was getting smaller knives because I was excited about carrying them, but felt a little awkward that people are gonna freak out. Definitely have gotten away from that. You've seen some of the big knives that I do own and carry without any concern anymore. But back then, that's what I was doing. This has got the front flipper only. It's very snappy, very pointy, very sharp. I've cut myself many times on this thing. It's actually a little duller than it probably should be, but it's a little safer this way. It cut me quite a few times. And so anyway, that's the Kaiser Feist. Moving on from there, I think the next one I bought was the Comant. I know Bees' first video was on the Comant, and he used to talk about them a lot. And what I liked about this one is that it has the front flipper, button lock. It may have been my first button lock. Also the back flipper and the hole deployment, which works, but under the camera, struggle. It's got a hollow grind. I really didn't know that much about that back then, how much that improves the cutting, but it has a cool sound. If I can get it just right, maybe I'll try to. Kind of has a ting to it, unless I'm trying to make it do it, of course. Also has the PlayStation. When I was growing up, I'm an old guy. PlayStation was big, and these symbols kind of remind me of that, so that's very cool. Some people really don't like the look of the blade or the handles with this decoration on it. I think it's kind of cool personally. Yeah, it's always a personal preference. Button's nice. It's got that kind of texture to the button, which helps a lot. Smaller knife again. You can reverse the clip on this one, and this one I think is going to be looks like, let me look it up here. Comant. The steel on this one is where is it? S35 VN. Sorry. It's on the blade, but it's got a little hard to read. S35 VN. So again, kind of a premium steel. Put that to the side and move on. I think the next one that I got was getting into no, I think this one I got, my girlfriend bought this one for me. She was like seeing me getting into knives, and she's always like looking for stuff to get me. She's very nice, very much wanting to participate. I mean, she's not a big fan of knives. She does have quite a few. One of the ones in this collection is hers, but not so much as I am. This is in the 154 cm steel, which is more what you expect from Kaiser. I think the majority of their stuff is 154. This one has that peel ply carbon fiber. Back when I got this, I really didn't know that much about the peel ply or what the difference was, but I knew carbon fiber, what it was, that strong material, and it had a cool pattern. Also, I was excited about the fact that this was huge. This was when I was starting to really be good with getting larger knives. So this is the Sheepdog XL, obviously, and it's a monster, and it makes me smile every time. Let's move on. After that, I started getting into blade shows because I know that some of these came from trips to Utah for Blade Show West. I'd say this was the next one that I got, which is the LP. And this one, speaking of Vufam, he was at that show for Kizer, and he was the one setting up an after party. I wasn't doing videos at the time. I had been in the chat on lives, and Vu knew me a little bit from there, and we talked a bit, and he was very cool, and he got me into the party, and they had gift bags, and it was a great party, a really great party. Really cool people, one of the nights of Blade Show West, and inside the bag was this knife, and I hadn't really seen it before. It's got kind of a sheep's foot blade. This is called the LP. It's an Azo design, and I didn't even know anything about Azo at that time. Or again, at 154 cm, cool G10, nice pattern to it. But yeah, this is not something that I had on my radar that I was interested in. Really nice jimping on this too. It goes all the way out to here. And this is a kind of an earlier design. You see a lot of this kind of stuff nowadays, but maybe not so much back then. Back then meaning like 3-4 years ago, something like that. Reversible clip. Good Kaiser knife. It's possible that this will be one of the knives that ends up going, because this shape, it is a good knife, but this may go into a giveaway. You know, when I'm doing my giveaways, I like to put in one of mine, and this one's kind of been on that list. It's hard. It's hard for me to give up any knife, but this is one that doesn't get a lot of pocket time, so this might be in there, and I think it's a great knife. I think anybody who gets that in a win, along with a new knife as well, but one of my old ones, I think that would be a great one. Next on that same show, I was already excited. Again, big knife called the Mini Paragon. We got the XL, the Sheepdog XL, and the Mini Paragon. And they're both big. Obviously, the Sheepdog is going to be bigger, but this Paragon XL, or Mini Paragon, is a big knife. Always cool shape to me. I kind of thought it looked like a shark. Like it's got some gills here. It's got these two big old monster jimpings. Kind of like a Medford sort of thing to it. It's got that pattern all the way along from the blade into the great micarta handle. It's that soft kind of micarta that is so grippy. A little smaller handle, but still fills your hand. It's nice, thick enough here. Feels good in hand. Great action. Big blade. Little bit of a, I'm not sure if that's flat. It does look flat, but it may have a slight hollow. It's probably flat, but then it's got a dual grind up the front. Nice, strong design. Always like this knife. Definitely won't be going in a giveaway anytime soon because I'm a big fan of this one. All right, moving on. Try to keep this rolling. What else did I get? At Blade shows, I got a couple. Oh, this is one. This was at the very beginning of my my videos. My first video was on this knife. There's a great story behind it. My girlfriend was looking. She's always looking for things to get me for Christmas and birthdays and things like that. I forget what this one was from. This is the Kaiser K with the serape. And so somehow I got into her head that I wanted this knife. And she decided to buy it on her own. A lot of times she'll just give me the money and let me buy it. But she kind of got a little sneaky, and which is a good thing in this case, because it was a really cool surprise. And she contacted Bees. She knew that I was watching his lives at that time. She contacted Bees. Bees is a great guy. You know, he really didn't know who she was, but he was all in. He knew who I was, and he was all in to help her out. And between the two of them, they got this one purchased for me, the Kaiser K, the 154 CM, black coated blade with the serape. Looks really cool. Great look to it. You know, reversible clip. Got the little lanyard. Obviously, I don't do many of those, but it did come with that cool matching serape lanyard bead. So, you know, I like to mix it up. I'm not like anti anything or have to have everything like anything. I like to mix it up. This is a great knife. One of my favorite Kaisers, really. It really is. Partially because of the whole story behind it, but also because it's just a great knife. Feels great in the hand. Cuts really well. Yeah, I love it. Moving on. Let's see. Next one I got was probably the Kaiser Roach. And this is one that I was back when Freedom Frog, if you know him, he's done some videos recently, but mostly is from years ago. He was quite, you know, a rising star, I think, in the YouTube channel stuff. And I was talking with him. We became friends, and he was recommending the Roach. And again, a big knife. And I like big knives. And he said, yeah, definitely you won't be disappointed with this one. So this one's in N690. And this is the full-size Roach. And it's just, I like that downward cant to the blade where the handle kind of curves over like this. Nice leaf shape. Great, again, Kizer. I think, in my book, Kizer does the best micarta handles as far as in general. So, yeah, this is a great knife. It's got Awesome finger choil on the front, so you can really choke up on that big blade, making it something that you can control. Or you can be back here, and you just definitely feel like you could chop with this thing. Not super heavy, but yeah, it's just a good size knife. I mean, that I think you can do any small size knife task with it, and yet still have that big blade, big knife, plenty of grip on the handle. You got just a back flipper, which is not as much my thing. I think I've been able to get it from the side, you know, put your finger on the side and done it, but it's definitely not an easy thing to do. This one's got that changing the color on the micarta that I like. So it just looks really cool as you wear it in. Moving on. What do we got next? So we're getting into I think this one's probably the next one. In fact, actually, I think this one was at the same time as this one, because my girlfriend gave me money and said, here, go buy yourself a knife for Christmas or birthday or whatever it was. And she said, I want to keep it down in a price range. And this one was pretty cheap. I think it was like around 50-ish. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe I can look on here. Gracioso. Yeah, 55 bucks. Great price. Great knife. Recurve blade. Beautiful look. Manganas. Sharif design. Just loved it. I was super happy about it. It's got that brass bolsters. Great micarta back here. Got a linen micarta. Clip. Not reversible this time. Cool thumb ramp. Finger choil up here. I mean, it has it all. It is a very cool knife. I really have always been a fan of Sharif's designs, and I really love this blade. And I ended up getting this one, and then later on she ended up getting me this. And this was the one she used to kind of disguise what she was up to. So that's another good story. All right, so now we're getting into slightly newer knives here. This one, we'll just go with this one because I don't remember the order. The October, and it's been a long time since I've won a giveaway. A long time. This may have been the last one that I did win, but it was a big one. You know how bees always have these Octobers with the titanium scales, and that pattern was always super cool. And I remember winning this one. This is 20 CV blade. October. Another really cool knife. A little smaller than some of the ones that I like, but it definitely lets you choke up and give you all your fingers on. You're gonna fall off if you're back here and you have hands my size. But up here, you're choked up. You got a great grip. Excellent jimping. Excellent. You can get there's a little ramp thing here. Kind of do whatever you want to do. You got that fuller you can grab a hold of. You got that fuller that you can help to get your flick with, or the hole. It's got a little flipper in the back. Don't use it that much, but it's definitely usable. So yeah, I was super happy about this. One of the top dog package things that I won, and this is a really cool knife and another great story. Another great story. All right, here we go. We're getting down to it. So, I might as well do this one next. Oops. Sorry, guys. So, I was at a blade show. I'm not sure if it was West. I think it was a West. And I was looking for knives to buy as giveaway knives. And Kaiser had a bunch of these. They were either like starting to phase out the models, or they just were on sale. So they were down in the like $20 range or something like that. This one is normally like $30, so it's just a great bargain. It's got this cool leaf shape. It's N690 steel again. Infinity, name of the knife. Kind of a cool little, kind of like a penguin or tuxedo kind of thing going on with the G10 and front flipper. And, it took me a while to kind of get used to front flippers, but man, I really like the way they flip out. Not so much. I don't know if I can get the top on this one. I've gotten better at that. I was able to do it. Certainly when I first got it, I was not able to do the top. Maybe obviously with the thumb, but maybe with the index. Yeah, I've gotten much better at that. It's just something, if you're not good at it, even with a middle finger flick or anything, you just need to practice it. I think this is the Azo design as well. Anyway, I got it as a giveaway, and then I kind of fell in love with it. But it's probably got to go into the giveaway, the used part of the giveaway list, along with the LP, because both of these are about the same. Where I like the knives, but they just don't really get in my pocket that much, and it might be great to pass on to somebody. I mean, certainly right when I first got it, I carried it a lot. So, even if somebody else feels the same way, they at least enjoy it for a while and maybe pass it on to somebody else. Who knows? But yeah, Infinity, that's the next one. And, oh boy, we're long. I warned you guys. But, I've been watching like some of the MC videos, some of the lefty videos. They go pretty long too, so I don't feel too bad. And a lot of people, don't really complain about it. These kind of videos with all the collections, a lot of different knives to show, tend to be easier when they're long. Next one, I think it was probably this drop bear. Not last year at Blade Show Atlanta, but the year before that. My girlfriend wasn't able to make it because the cat got sick to the last Atlanta show. But the one before that, we were hanging out with Mr. and Mrs. B's, and we were over at the Kizer booth, and he was getting me in on the all the giveaway, swag stuff, and he's just a master at that at the shows. You see him work at a show, he just gets all those coins and stickers and all that stuff. He is the man. And Mrs. B's and my girlfriend really hit it off. In fact, they're like pretty decent friends. I mean, they are. My girlfriend probably texts her more than she texts me. I don't know, but they get along really well. And if you know, then you know that Mrs. B's loves her drop bear. And this is the one that is in the L200N, which is that highly stainless steel that doesn't. It's like, I think they even use it on like salt versions of knives, but it's got that cool axis lock. Anyway, she was showing it to my girlfriend. She was getting excited about it. And then my girlfriend, she said, well, I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back. So just wait here. Yeah, it's got some great jimping on that. That's that long jimping drop bear. And it's got that titanium with that kind of color fade that looks really cool. Anyway, Miss Bees comes up to me and says, she really likes this knife. You should buy it for her. If you watch any of the Bees videos and you stay to the end, Mrs. Bees will always say, oh, go ahead and buy what's in your shopping cart. She's good at encouraging people to buy stuff. And so anyway, I picked it up, and my girlfriend came back. I said, surprise. So I got to surprise her with a knife as well. So this is her knife in her collection, and she really likes it. And it's got another great story. Moving on, that same year, at the party that Bees managed to score me a pass for. It's a cool party. It had out on a balcony at one of the restaurants around the Atlanta area. And they did a giveaway, and everybody had a number when they came in, and I won. And when I went up to see what I won, I was able to just pick a knife out of this table of knives. And I saw this one, and I saw the titanium, and I'm going, oh man, that is cool. I don't recognize the knife. I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it before, but it does have S35. So I picked it up, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the blade. I'm going, well, what is this called? And I'm looking at this, and it says, it looks like to me it said Tomgat. I said, oh, it's the Tomgat, whatever the heck that is. But in reality, finding out later, it's actually the Torngat. It's a Torngat. It's just that R and that N are so close together they look like an M. So it's the Torat. And then I found out later on, did a little more digging on it. Torat is a mountain range out in Canada. And so somehow that was related to the design. And very cool mountain range, definitely. So anyway, I like it. I like the little pop here, the titanium with that little anodized piece there, the anodized backspacer that matches it. The pivot collar matches it. I mean, it's just a very cool design. It was definitely not on my radar. I still haven't really seen it too often anywhere, but I like this knife a lot. And another giveaway that I won. So I guess this was maybe the last giveaway I won. I don't know. I mean, I've won a lot of giveaways, but it seems like it's been years since the last one. 2 more knives. I know this is my last one that I got because I got this at Blade Show this year in Atlanta. So I believe I got this one before that. And again, it was Freedom Frog was always a big fan of Elijah Isham. And he got me kind of hooked on these Isham designs. I always kind of liked, it's that one that's named after the planet from Dune. What was it called? The Arrakis. Always liked that one. Almost bought it one year. First year at Blade Show. But man, that's a lot of money for me back then. And still is kind of a lot of money, but you can't find it anywhere. I've looked. Probably if I want to spend 2-3 times as much as it's worth, I could get it. But anyway, Megatherium, another big Kaiser. And it's an Isham design. So between those two things, I mean, very cool. It's got this unusual shape to the handle, which is kind of an Isham thing. He tended to come down here, but it almost hooks your finger in, so it holds you in really well. You also got the finger choil, big old monster hole for your finger. Definitely get your finger in there, but it doesn't. It works pretty well. I mean, once in a while you may get kind of caught in there or whatever. Cool blade shape. I really like the blade shape. We're talking about, what's our steel on this one? S35 again. S35VN. Megatherium. Big old knife. Fun knife. Another one of my big knives that I really like. It's got the flipper and the middle finger slot. So all good. No jimping. A lot of the Isham knives don't have jimping. Maybe it's just a thing that he had, but the shape of the handle kind of helps you to grip it. So I think that works out okay. I've never really had a problem with it. Moving on. We're almost done. We're at the almost 30-minute mark. All right, guys. I'm gonna probably do a few of these. This one here, I was watching Apex Alchemy. And he has really got, if you check out his channel recently, he's really got into, because he's got a tester for HRC. So if you're into the HRC thing, if you really like to see what all these different knives are compared to maybe what they're advertised or if they're not advertised, he's got a ton of videos where he's testing these things out. So you can check those out, and maybe there's a knife that you're thinking about buying. You can see what his experience has been with the tester that he has. Anyway, he was kind of talking about that, and steel. This is a Munko design called the Mystic, and it has Rex 45. I don't know if you can see it there. Rex 45. So that's one of those hot steels. I'm not a big steel person, but I do like to collect different knives. Like I say, I'm not just going to collect one type of knife. I like to get all different types of knives. So this one is very cool. It does remind me a bit of the Manganis design. Kind of both have that kind of, gotta clean out that blade. Both kind of have that kind of swoopy kind of look to them. Very cool. But yeah, obviously it's a bigger knife. Both of these are fairly decent size, but this one's nice and big. I picked this up in Atlanta this last year. Titanium bolsters, very nice. This is like a Linen micarta, so it's not as grippy, but it has a very cool look to it. It's got that milled clip. Looks really well, and it looks really good, and it also works well. Little back spacer there, and Rex 45. So I think this is my only Rex 45. I still have a bunch of other steels that I really want to get, but it's not really my top priority when it comes to getting knives. I'm definitely looking for a K390 steel. I know they got the other Rex numbers, Rex 121 or something like that. S110V. So there's all these different ones that I'm kind of chasing after, and that's kind of part of the collecting game. So anyway, there you go. That's my Kizer collection so far. I definitely slowed down. I used to buy a lot more. Within the last kind of year, I've slowed down a bit on Kaisers, but like I said, this last one I got at Blade Show this year in Atlanta, so it wasn't that long ago. And I still do like all the stuff. It's just that I tend to kind of be looking at maybe some different brands that I haven't checked out before, that kind of thing. So we'll see what tomorrow brings in Kaiser. If they bring out something that catches my eye, I'm definitely going to check them out because they do quality knives. All right, guys, that's it for this one. And if you made it all the way through, hey, awesome. If not, whatever you get through, if you want to skip through to a certain knife, whatever, it's all up to you. But I will see you on the next one.